Hello everyone, welcome back to A Cherry on Top's YouTube channel. My name is Sarah, one of the design team members here, and I have this week's Technique Tuesday video for you. So the theme for this week is borders, and I thought it would be really fun to show you how to use a bunch of stickers to create a border all around the edge of your page. I'm going to be working with a newer collection from Simple Stories. This is the Fun Times collection. And at the time that I am doing the voiceover for this video, it is available over at the shop. I have a photograph here. This is a photograph of my niece, and she is on a carousel horse. This collection is very bright, lots of busy patterns, lots of busy colors, perfect for fairs and amusement parks. I am actually have a whole trip that I am going to use this collection to document it. So I have been working, this is not the first layout I've used with this collection. I'm familiar with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map my photo in white first and then have this lovely block of color. What that's going to do is it's going to let my photo stand out and not blend in against all the color, because there is so much color on this page. Now, looking at this block with the photograph, I'm going to look at it and decide that my photograph actually needs to be on the other side. So just give me a minute while I figure that out. So here is where my border comes in. I have the 12 by 12 cardstock sticker sheet. I also have gone through the ephemera packs. I have also cut some of the cut apart pieces and kind of chosen which things I want to use on my page today. So my technique that I'm going to show you is when you have a lot of stickers or die cut embellishments and you want to do a page that is really fun, a great way to incorporate borders is to add those stickers and die cut pieces all around the edge of your page. You do that by allowing the stickers and the die cut pieces to go off the edge of your, in this case, white cardstock background. And I'm going to start at the top and then work my way all around the outside edge of this white cardstock, just adding all of these different elements, alternating the stickers and the die cut pieces. Most of the pieces that I am taking off and trimming off the top of this page will not be used again because they're just very small. But there are a couple that are a little bit larger. And you can see there, like the top of the little bumper cars, I cut those off, but then I put the extra piece and attached it over to the side of my craft mat. Same with some of those circle pieces. I trimmed them off, but then put them on the side of my craft mat because I can use those elements and have them be at the bottom of the page. You're going to see that in a minute. So I ended up using just about almost the entire 12 by 12 sheet of stickers. This is a really, really great technique if you are at the end of a collection where maybe you just have the stickers and the ephemera pieces that did not perfectly match your photos. The theme was right, but maybe just, or the colors are right. By adding them just to the edge, all around the edge, you are kind of giving your layout that theme without adding, you know, like I have things like ducks and the little balloon animals and different things that I knew really didn't have anything to do with my photograph exactly. It's just the idea of the fun of being on a carousel and the colors and those types of things. So I am now going down the right side of the page, and the only like tip or trick or best thing I can tell you when you're doing this technique is, number one, make sure that your elements make sense. So for example, you see my carousel horse, he's facing into the page, and he's not upside down. He's not at a funny angle. And so that's the only thing that you really have to worry about, is just that the orientation of the stickers, the orientation of the little elements are correct with how you want your element to go. I am also alternating and using not just stickers, but also some of the ephemera pieces that had things like the little tags and some of the smaller ephemera bits and bobs. I'm using those as well. There is the top of that ride. So the bottom of the ride is at the top of the page, and then that top piece that I did trim off and keep, I went ahead and put him right at the bottom of the page, so no part of that sticker was used. The only thing I will say, I trimmed off the carousel horse, and I did not put his back end randomly somewhere else on the page. So those kinds of things are the decisions that need to be made, right? I also have some larger pieces. So I kind of start with the larger pieces and then fill in with the smaller pieces. And then the last thing that I did do for all around the edge of this border was I sprinkled the little stars. So the 12 by 12 sticker sheet has all these teeny tiny little stars. And at the beginning, when I was kind of planning out what I wanted to do, I definitely decided that I wanted to add those little stars as like confetti or accent pieces. So I meticulously counted them out and knew that on each side, each border on this layout all the way around the edge, I could add 6 up to, but no more than 6 little stars and sprinkle them around like confetti. I ended up not even needing that many, but that way the stars were kind of evenly spread all around the edge, and I didn't end up getting to the end and running out of stars because I added too many on some of the other areas. So at this point, I'm kind of building my borders into that bottom left corner. I want to do that because I don't want to get to that end of the bottom left corner and end up either with pieces that won't fit or things that are too big or too small. So you can kind of see me kind of working my way like into that corner so that things are spaced out evenly. The larger teal and pink ticket that's kind of hanging off the edge there, I'm going to cut that down. And I'm actually going to use it in a unique way. That particular sticker was quite large. So there's a lot of it on the page, but then there's also a lot that I had to trim off. So I'm going to tuck it in under my photograph right here. That worked so good. I love that. Just that little bit of that same kind of colors and some of the same elements that are around the edge, bringing some of those right into the middle part of our layout. Now that the border is done, I'm going to go ahead and add the middle piece. I am really happy. I cut this at 6 by 8 and it worked really well. Now, if you try this technique and you do end up where your borders are kind of encroaching on that middle block a little too much, you can always go back and trim. You can see here, I definitely had space. If I needed to trim and make that block smaller, I could have trimmed it right there on the right side. But in my case, it worked out perfectly. That may or may not be the case if you try this at home, but just know that by starting with that 6 by 8 block of paper and not kind of putting it off to the side and then doing the border and then bringing it back in, if you need to trim from the top or the bottom or the side, you have that option. So it's time now for me to get all of the clusters and different elements together that I want on my page. I knew that I wanted to use some of these cute little tags from the tag paper, especially this paper the tag that has the the carousel horse, because that just was too perfect. Like, it was thematic to what my photo was of. I knew I wanted to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck these 2 tags in together. I'm kind of fidgeting with this. For some reason, this main part of my layout, with the block, it kept looking crooked, and I'm not 100% sure I know why it kept kind of looking crooked, but it sure did. So I'm going to fidget with it here for a minute. I have the foam stickers that go with this collection, and I had really thought that I wanted to use one of them as a title. I knew I was going to put my title down at the bottom of the tag with the carousel horse. In the end, I don't go with the foam title. Instead, I go with a cardstock sticker that says Fun Times just because it fit. There was a foam sticker that said Fun Times, but it was just too big. I also thought about using this sticker. Look at me. I'm just like, carousel horse? Carousel horse? Can I add more carousel horses? That's not going to work either. And at this point, I'm kind of remembering that I also wanted to have a little bit of a spot for some journaling. And for that, I'm going to use this little cut apart piece. I'm actually going to fussy cut it out. So it's kind of like this little tag or little, you kind of see it here. It looks like a little ticket, but then the actual part is just this little kind of round edge that says fun on the end. And I really just needed that inside piece. It was just, you're going to see me, I'm going to tuck it in here, and I just think it's too big. So then I'm going to cut it down further. And then it's going to fit perfectly. I'm a big believer in cutting things down. Make them work for the space that you have. And I just needed a little bit. Like, I didn't need anything. I didn't need a lot of journaling space. Just a little spot for, who, where, and the date. And that's all we need for that. So now I am going to go ahead and kind of fill in some of these areas. There are a ton of phrase stickers on this 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I have used so many around the edge of my page that I don't want to end up with a ton of phrase stickers with nowhere to go. So I'm just finding a couple little areas that I can add a few. I like to put my little wordy bits in sections of 3. So you'll see I put 3 up at the top, 3 around the journaling area, and then 3 over in the lower left corner to kind of make a visual triangle with the little phrase stickers. And that is where we're going to call this layout all done. Thank you so very much for joining me today here at A Cherry on Top. Be sure to hit that like button, and I would love it if you could leave me a comment. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be an emoji of a carousel horse, and we're good. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.